You're being lied to and manipulated. Headlines are used to jar up anger and other emotion that is fueling division and the intent to make money on your money, to separate you from your money without solving anything that's actually mentioned in these advertorials or ads or articles. Instead, they just make matters worse. So I got to share with you what I got in my inbox. It said, new privilege, and it was in quotations with privilege, tax will destroy the savings of anyone with over $10,000. Okay, so it said new, and then the next line said, Ronald Reagan warned about a greedy plan to destroy the savings of Americans. Here's how some patriots are fighting back. So first off, you can't use the word new and then immediately go to Ronald Reagan. That's not new. Okay, then it goes to this. It says, the total debt of the American government just surpassed a record $30 trillion. Yeah, that's alarming. I'm with them on that. Here's where they get pretty divisive. And they say, and the Democrats are preparing to pour fuel onto the fire with trillions, they say trillions, plural, more in social justice spending. They use quotations. First off, I want to let you know I don't really think of myself as a Republican or a Democrat. It seems that both sides are pretty damn into spending. They're into cronyism, where corporations fund them essentially and they do the bidding of those corporations. I do like how articulate President Obama was, or Ronald Reagan, extraordinarily articulate. That's great, right? I would definitely prefer that over the last two presidents. Anyway, back to the point. The ad goes on to say, the money is being wasted on people, and then in bold it says, who don't even like America. Okay, this sounds pretty racist to me here. Don't even like America, social justice, right? Then it says, meanwhile, normal hardworking people, so normal hardworking people are being victimized and seeing their buying power vanish because of runaway inflation. I agree. We have runaway inflation. It is harming the middle class, the lower middle class, and the poor, no doubt. But let's be clear. Most of this comes from private banks, by the way. The central banks, the Federal Reserve, which is neither federal nor reserve. And what they did was use quantitative easing, which was they printed and added a ton of money to the money supply. Now, definitely government spending is an issue, but not the main issue with runaway inflation. Then they go back to say, former President Ronald Reagan once warned, inflation is violent as a mugger, as frightening as an armed robber, and as deadly as a hitman. Again, super articulate. And yeah, inflation is concerning. But now they say all liberals have to do is yell privilege. They put in quotation, caps, and bold, and they get trillions for their wasteful social justice programs. Okay, are they really getting trillions? Who's getting trillions? What proposal or plan is going to social justice warriors, for social justice programs? First off, I cannot stand cancel culture. I can't stand censorship and people telling you how to think. But at the same time, I can't stand seeing systematic poverty that is absolutely getting demolished because money's going into Wall Street fat cats' hands, going into banks instead of to everyone else. And I also don't like to just see money handed out for nothing, which happened during Trump and during Biden's time. So this is inflating a situation in division without merit, calling it privilege or social justice as if we're just wasting money going to people who are doing nothing. There is a lot of things that are going on that are bad for a lot of people. And to say that all of that is complete government waste is crazy. I think government is filled with bureaucracy. I think it's filled with fundraising that ends up in the wrong hands. I think there's a lot of things that are completely inefficient, but to say it's all bad and to blame it on so-called liberals, this is crazy, this ad. The question is, it says in the ad, will your savings be there when you need it? And will it last as long as you need it? And then it says, are there options to protect yourself? Yes, exclamation point. And then in all bold, there is one loophole you can use to protect your IRA or 401k. And then they put in parentheses, if you hurry, right? Got to hurry. Got this scarcity play, by the way. So what they tell you to do is move some of your money into gold now. Gold is the favorite thing that people like to use during times where there's fear and chaos. And a lot of people don't understand how volatile that market is, don't understand a lot about it. They just start shoveling their money towards it. But why? Because because our money system is being demolished. Well, there's definitely problems with quantitative easing, as I mentioned. We have massive inflation problems. But here's what their solution, they say. You can protect your savings from Biden's limitless money printing. It's not Biden's limitless money printing. It's the Federal Reserve, which is a private bank. It's centralized bankers. So this is completely misleading. And then he says Biden's limitless money is the inflation that it leads to. So again, is it Biden printing the money or the Federal Reserve? And were they printing money when Trump was in office? Yeah, so let's think about this a bit. And one of the best ways to buy gold is through a self-directed gold IRA. So here is the problem. IRAs are government-sponsored plans. So they're telling you to put it or keep it in a government-sponsored plan that defers your tax. Now, if they're saying that there's runaway spending with the government, trillions of dollars on things that you don't want it going to is what they're trying to imply here, well, guess what? Deferring tax in an IRA, you're going to have to pay that tax if it's a traditional IRA, a 401k, or any self-directed IRA that's non-Roth, 403b, or any of these kind of things. And so what they're trying to sell you on is to get a no-cost info kit on gold that they say explains everything you need to know to get started. Inside, you'll learn how the IRS tax law works and how to transfer your IRA or 401k as soon as today. By the way, this is why they said $10,000. They don't want to roll over your money if it's less than that. They say there's no taxes, fees, or penalties. This is absolutely not true. There's deferred taxes still. Yes, there's no tax on the rollover, but they're saying that government spending is a problem, taxes are going to go up, but to put your money into these plans, fuel it with gold, and gold's going to solve all your problems. If that goes up in value, you have to pay more taxes and you'll put more money in the government's hands, which they said not to do. So this is what's crazy about this ad. So don't trust the government. Put money in the government plan. Really? Again, if gold goes up in value, there would still be taxes owed on the plan, therefore funding more of the programs that these people are talking about. That's insane. I had to repeat it. It was so crazy to me. All right. And it says, but be warned. Time is running out. Okay. So make your decision now. Marketing, marketing, marketing. Fear and scarcity. Because as Democrats continue their woke money printing, it's not the Democrats that are printing, it's the Federal Reserve. The purchasing power of your savings is shrinking faster and faster. True, it is shrinking. Every minute you wait could mean hundreds of dollars lost due to inflation. I don't know. This is crazy to me. They say there are still some free info kits available that we can send today. By the way, there's not just some, there's unlimited. I guarantee, especially if it's digital, even if it's printed on paper. So it's just doing all of this marketing stuff, right? And this is last thing. Doesn't matter what wordisms the left uses to attack you. See, and all they've done is like they know that they're targeting people that they think are Republican or have voted Republican or signed up. You know, what happened is I signed up for some article or thing that was put out there, and then somehow I got put on this list, right? And at first I was like, how did I get on this? Then I tracked it back to who it was sent from. When it said Ben Shapiro, I was like, okay, what did I sign up there, right? They say you are privileged or racist. That's what they're saying. Or that you need to pay your fair share, but all these are smokescreens for how they really feel. This is what this article is saying. They simply want to steal from you. And printing vast sums of dollars out of nowhere is exactly how they're doing it. But this free info kit shows how just buy gold, put it in an IRA, get it now while you still can. So this is saying there could be a tax increase, yet it's about how to put gold inside of a tax-deferred plan. Self-directed IRA is still an IRA, still subject to the rules of the tax code that the government controls. So let's make a distinction. Federal Reserve and fractionalized banking combined with quantitative easing is the biggest and most huge problem with inflation. Higher inflation subjects to higher future taxes. Deferring taxes in a self-directed IRA means you have to pay taxes, which they're arguing are likely to go up. So maybe one solution is convert it to a Roth. I don't know, maybe that's what they're talking about, and pay the taxes today. But leaving it in a self-directed, traditional, deferred IRA is not a solution to a privilege tax. Again, 10K minimum was just about marketing and what's worth their time for rollover, and really has nothing to do with what's at risk. This is marketing, plain and simple. It's completely manipulative, garbage, and dividing our country unnecessarily. I think everyone would agree. Let's not inefficiently hand money out or have it go in the wrong hands, which, by the way, happened with quantitative easing, primarily with banks and Wall Street. It's not like poor people were just getting all this money poured onto them for doing nothing. The people that needed it the most didn't get it. Yes, financial responsibility is the key to prosperity. Taking personal responsibility is the key. But we can look and understand that there's definitely haves and have-nots. There's definitely things inside of the system that happen with some of the biggest private banks in the world that never happen for someone who's born into poverty, that they never get a chance towards, and it would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice if we're all born equal, but then we have unequal opportunity based upon our level of willingness to add value, not unequal based upon which family we're born into or which government official that we know. So I get where they're triggering and they're trying to get people to get divided and upset and angry and blame each other. But Can we just for a minute look at what we all agree upon, how we can connect with each other, and not let this divisive marketing that actually still puts us in harm's way and never solves the problem? It's just someone trying to make money on a transaction by selling you gold or funds that are holding gold, and instead of actually giving you a real solution, it's time to look at each other and say, how can we add value? How can we serve others? How can we solve problems? How can we help? And instead of doing this garbage of trying to divide. Would you like more money? Would you like to be able to utilize that money in a way that you could enjoy life along the way? Well, I've decided to tackle all things money, whether it's keeping it, whether it's growing it, whether it's being more efficient with it, or whether it's just knowing where you're at with it so that you don't feel confusion. So if you'd like to cut through the complexity and be reassured that it is possible to simplify your finances and enjoy your life along the way, well, just check out the next video.